Hey guys, welcome to the channel. You are now watching the High Vibe channel, and we're here. My name is Nell Nicole. I'm gonna be your partner for today. I'm a tarot reader and astrologer, and I'm here because it's time. It's time, okay? So we're going to be talking about the Virgo full moon. And I want to do a little bit of a preface before we actually get into what to expect with the full moon, because this channel is getting ready to kind of transform into something much more grounded and authentic. Okay, so if you've been rocking with me for a while, I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of my subscribers. Let me just say that because I don't think I give y'all enough credit. Like, High Vibe has been been in operation for a few years now, and I literally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Okay, I really appreciate the affirming messages that you guys send me just to let me know when things resonate with you. I appreciate all of your love and support. I got some real ride or dies that fuck with me across all platforms, so just know that I'm sending you that love and that just gratitude. Okay, I really truly appreciate y'all. And for all the new people, like, welcome. You know what I'm saying? I just want everybody to know that I'm human. I'm here. Like, authenticity is one of my major, motivations in everything that I do. And High Vibe is like a huge part of my life purpose. And so I'm not in the business of fucking around when I come here to be with you guys. And so moving forward, I aim to be much more intentional about the content that I post, because sometimes I have to step away because I'm real. I'm a human. I'm not always in the mood. I don't always know how I'm supposed to be of service. But this last little step away that I had, I really took the time to redefine my why. And so as we move forward together here, I want this will be a situation where I'm showing up as my authentic self. I want to serve as a mirror for you guys, mirror for you guys, because I believe in collective consciousness. It's the whole reason I do what I do. And as we're on this collective journey together, I want to acknowledge and honor the individual path that each of us must take in order to reach true, enlightenment, true understanding, true growth. Okay, so that's what this channel is for me. If you go back and watch my very first video, I looked like probably a completely different person than I do today, and that is intentional. So as we move through, you guys know I'm very fond of the moon cycle because I feel that it is one of the most consistent cycles, right? It happens, we know we're gonna get a new moon, full moon every 2 weeks, okay? And along my journey, I've learned how important timing is. And so that's something that I really want to sort of impress upon you guys, is that divine timing is always at play. We can catch it every now and then, or we can train ourselves to be in that flow all the time. And it's not something you can just be like, I'm gonna be in the flow. Like, no, I'm a perfect example of that. But that is at least a part of the goal of, growth, enlightenment. You have to be on some sort of schedule, right? And the divine has done the work for us. The ancients knew this. They would rise with the sun, do their work, and when the sun went down, work was over. Now you're having leisure time. Now you're having family time. You get what I'm saying? And now that we have all of these artificial, we got light bulbs, we got smartphones that throw our, what do they call it? The circadian cycle. It throws your natural cycle off to the point where I feel like spiritually and like within our bodies, we're confused. We don't know what time it is. And that's almost the new normal, right? So if you're here on this channel, I know that you're already on your spiritual journey. And none of us are perfect. Like, we're all going to have to relearn this stuff, right? So I want to just give y'all that little gem, that little key, that being in alignment is more than just understanding how to be grounded. It's more than just understanding how to communicate with spirit. It's also understanding there's a time and a place for everything. And as we move along this journey, I want to help highlight those times. And basically what this is, astrologically, you can look and see with each moon cycle what area is being activated in the overall chart. So that is a collective energy, right? We're all going to be experiencing a full moon in Virgo on March 18th, 2022. I don't care if you're in, America or in Istanbul or freaking Hawaii. Well, Hawaii is in America, but you get what I'm saying. You're going to experience this energy. Now, it might show up a little bit differently for everybody because we are all individuals. That is the dualistic nature of this world, right? And as a light worker, a reader, a guide, I'm here to help you guys understand that big collective energy so that you can recognize it in the world. And then we're also going to bring it down to to our individual experience and understand how these energies are supporting certain themes. And if we reach for those themes, if we do the work on those things at that time, we can see like exponential. We can take those leaps ahead that we really need to take to get closer to where we're going. I also want to say this. I don't know why I'm feeling called to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I don't know why everybody feels like, I don't want to say everybody. That was a fucked up way to start. Let me start over. I feel that a lot of people are under the impression that there is a place that we are all trying to get to with this healing thing, with this spiritual thing. And I just want to say, I'm getting chills. If you've embarked upon this journey, know that it is never ending. Know that there is no checkpoint that you're going to get to where anybody is going to come and say, nigga, you made it. You are done. Well done. You're finished. You can go. Like, no, this is life school. Welcome. Find your seat. Here we are. I'll see you again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Sometimes you might miss school. That just means you might have to skip a grade. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know if I mentioned it in this video. I've done this video 3 times, but I'm here to be a reflection of you guys so that you see what that journey looks like, that it is far from linear. In fact, it is a spiral. If you do it right, it can be an upward spiral, right? Where you're, with each go round, you're expanding and understanding more and more, and your awareness grows. And in order to do that, there are certain things that you've got to know to pay attention to, certain things you've got to look out for. Because like I said, as we're going through these different cycles, we've had a full moon in Virgo before, right? Last year. How much growth have you seen between the last full moon in Virgo and this full moon in Virgo? Okay, we're going to sit down and have a talk about it this time so that you can begin to do this work, so that by the next time that full moon in Virgo comes, you will have a better understanding of what to do, how to do it, and how that energy can support you individually. All right, so intro done. 10 minutes. Here we go. All right. So I tend to be a little long-winded. I'll be trying, but we here. We are here. In fact, that is where we are. So let me actually plug my phone in real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. And I'm not sorry. I don't know why. That's something I'm trying to unlearn. So let's just start this conversation off by talking about Virgo a little bit and full moons. So Virgo is the sign of, Virgo is the sign of our everyday duties, our health, our wellness, how well we are taking into account how much energy we have, where we're going to use that energy, how we're going to use that energy, what projects are going to be completed with that energy, right? And how we're going to categorize and organize those projects after we are done. It's about lifestyle. It's about the type of person you are when the doors close. It's about your internal systems. And before you even get to the systems, you have to prioritize certain things in your life to understand what things need systems. Virgo, it's also giving me critical thinking with this moon. But full moons in by nature, It's when the sun and moon are in opposite signs. So just as well as Virgo is, or the moon is in Virgo, right? Sun is in Pisces up there. And it's conjunct Neptune right now. What does that mean? It means just as much as you'll be inspired to start grounding yourself, to create those processes, to reprioritize certain things in your life and figure out like how you could be doing better. The Pisces sun is inspiring us to think outside of our comfort zone, to think outside of the box. Neptune being conjunct Pisces is just giving that an even bigger push. Okay, so both, so Neptune rules over Pisces. They're one and the same almost, right? One thing that they rule is spirituality, psychic type shit. Okay, so you may be feeling very tapped in and tuned in to certain thoughts and feelings, right? That you don't understand fully. You might get a push to say, hey, leave that relationship. This is not working out. You might have been with this person for 10 years. I'm just using an example. Y'all know I'm the example queen, okay? You might have been with this person for 10 years. But deep down, you know, continuing this is not going to serve you. And so that takes us back down to that Virgo, very realistic, very gritty, like, because it's about our everyday life. It's about our lifestyle. It's about what happens when the doors close. That part of your life that only you and maybe like your spouse, you know, your family might not even really be privy unless they're the immediate family, the people that live with you, what your struggles are and what areas in your life you could be better at, right? That is a very Virgoan thing. And so I noticed, looking at my life and looking at the lives of people around me, that even the days leading up to this full moon, people are feeling a little bit more selfish, a little bit more, and it's not selfish in a bad way. It's more of a self-contained type of selfishness, or like a self-preservation. Those are the words, self-preservation type of selfishness. It's like, because Virgo and Pisces can both be signs where we tend to give. Virgo is the sign of the servant, or the, the server, okay? And Pisces is this sign that is everything but nothing at the same time. So for some reason, Pisces energy gives people this, like propensity towards lack of boundaries, because they are everything and nothing at the same time. So it's like, where is the line? Okay. And so with that being said, when full moons come up, you know it. You might not even know you know it, but things be happening at that time if you sit and watch the cycles. And so I want you to just stop and observe and realize what's being highlighted, not only for you, but for other people. Like I said, this is a collective energy. You just need to figure out how it's going to affect you on an individual level, but it is a collective energy. So we're all going to be experiencing this. Intuitively, I feel that this moon cycle is going to encourage some of us that the way we've been going with these lack of boundaries, with this overgiving attitude, like it's gonna run us into the ground, because Virgo rules our health and wellness. And you're starting to realize that you cannot take care of yourself and other people if those other people are not making it a part of the, prioritizing taking care of you. And so wherever you're seeing that sort of lack, you're gonna do what full moons inspire us to do, which is shed it. You're gonna shed it, and it is a means of self-preservation. So the first word that I put here, or phrase, is breaking free, because I truly do feel that critical Virgo moon is going to help us to look around and understand things that maybe might have been kind of glossed over before. And so now that you're kind of taking account of what's going in and what's going out versus the little that's coming in, you're like, cool, there's an imbalance. So if I leave, I gain myself back, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we are. This is also a full moon that's going to highlight appreciation. That's another word that came to me in my meditation, because again, it's kind of like we're taking stock of the areas in our lives where our energy is being appreciated versus where it's not being appreciated. And full moons, they inspire us to shed. So at that point, it's going to become it's going to pose the question: how much do you believe in you? How much? Because this is the thing. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't think that there's anything important that you came here to do, you may very well be okay with that very comfortable space, which is, understanding the dynamic that you're already in. Yes, you're giving way more than you're receiving, but at least at the end of the day, you know what to expect. And to be honest with you, some people are going to be okay with that. Some people are going to be all right in that space of understanding that they're sacrificing their own power for predictability. That's also another thing that Virgo and Pisces kind of rules over is because Pisces is so, doesn't understand where things begin and end. A lot of times they let someone else sort of rule over them, dictate them. And Virgo tends to be this sign that is willing to control the partner in order to say, well, I know what's best, right? So some people will give into that sort of, I don't want to say lower, it is lower vibration, right? Or like lower, it's just not as evolved of a, manifestation of that energy, right? But you could also choose to manifest the higher version of that energy, which is, okay, I'm realizing that people are not, what the sun is shining a light on is that people are not respecting my boundaries. People think that I don't have any boundaries. I'm picking up intuitively on the fact that when I don't state my boundaries, people are taking advantage of me, whatever the case may be. But that Virgo full moon, the higher exaltation of it would be, okay, I do have all of this to give and you do need it, but I need it more, period. And so it's hard for a Virgo to understand what another person needs and not provide it for them. But a lot of us are going to make that decision because it's like, if this whole thing is life or death, and when I say that, I mean that figuratively, as far as, with what you're doing with your life. Are you living your life or are you waiting to die? Because some people, they get to a certain place and then it's like, okay, I'm all set. I'm good. I'll just do this for the rest of my days until I'm not here anymore. And then there's other people where that is the most terrifying thought. And so this energy will catapult them to make that change. Because we're also having a mutable full moon, because both Gemini is a mutable sign, but both Virgo and Pisces are mutable energies. And so this energy is like ripe, and it's a earth and a water. So yeah, it's ripe for a change. It's ripe for new beginnings, new seeds being planted. Okay. Some of the words that are coming up for me, I just kind of want to go through them. And if I get a download, I'll share it with you. So reprioritizing, I said that. Wellness is another word that came up with that Virgo, the moon being in Virgo. I really want you guys to take stock of the areas that you exert yourself in. And I want you to ask yourself, is this work feeding something in me or is it depleting me? If it's depleting you, you know what to do. If it's feeding you, then amp it up a little bit more, okay? Just pay more attention to what it is that makes you feel better, more in alignment. Spiritual wholeness. This is another one where if you are in or experiencing toxic relationships right now, that's basically what I'm talking about, then the push is to get yourself to a space where you no longer feel the need for those codependent situations or relationships. I keep feeling a codependency energy here where it just needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. If you're experiencing codependency in any fashion, it's because you're not feeling whole within the self. And so, I mean, that work is going to look different for everybody, y'all. I'm going to be honest. I can sit here and tell y'all what I do, but just because I do it, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But there does need to be some sort of, first of all, release of trauma because something happened. Something happened to make you codependent. And once you figure out what that is, whether it's a spiritual bath, some sort of a movement, I'm thinking yoga, or like really intense or deep massage therapy where people can help move the energy out of your body, right? Cord cutting rituals, these are all things that you can damn near Google and figure it out. But you've got to release the attachment, because what happens when you have a codependency is that you have this perceivable hole somewhere in your energy. And then there's this other person that represents things that you do not, that you feel, okay, I need what they have to fill this hole in me. That is always a lie. It is never the truth. And so in order to kind of gain your own power back and create that wholeness within yourself, you have to cut that attachment first. And then you can see where the hole is so that you can begin to patch it up and refortify it with the things that you need, so that you don't feel that you lack in those areas anymore, right? So that you don't keep reaching out for the same archetype of person and exacerbating that exact same wound. It's like you never give that wound a chance to actually heal because you're just filling it up with bullshit and putting a Band-Aid on it. Then it gets infected. Then you're wondering, why is it infected? I put a Band-Aid. I filled it with bullshit. Yeah, because you filled it with bullshit. Sometimes to even understand that we're in a codependent situation, or that we are a part of a toxic situation, we just need to ground ourselves and get real about who we are. And before you start to try to assess another person's situation, understand your own situation. Understand yourself. Understand your needs. That's really what grounding is. It's kind of like, you know, I imagine like a caveman, like sitting in his cave, like, okay, cool. So now I got shelter, you know, like now what do I need? I have this little arrow rock, but it's just a rock. It needs a staff, you know, like, but he wouldn't know that if he was just moving. You know, he might break the damn thing trying to just do what he had to do instead of sitting down and thinking and looking around and being like, okay, what needs to be improved upon? You know, what needs my attention right now? So doing any sort of meditation, bruh, I just got this download. So doing any sort of meditation is going to help also because this is such a magical full moon. We've got the moon in Virgo, sun in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is our spiritual connection. And so if you actually do the work to ground yourself while this full moon is happening, and you ask yourself these questions, because you have to initiate it's almost like, getting chills again. Nothing will come to you unless you ask. So that's what I'm going to say. So you got to sit down, get grounded, ask to be shown certain things, and then listen, okay? And then move. If you might have been avoiding something. I know for the past week, one of my things was laundry. This might seem so stupid, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Laundry is a very human experience. It must be done. And I was like, just stressed the hell out, like in disarray, you know, like experiencing whatever I was experiencing. And I had been walking past this laundry for like a week. And I know like your space is a reflection of your mental health. And for whatever reason, I was just like, I'm bad out here. I ain't got to do that laundry right now. I'll do that shit when I get to it, you know. But it definitely affected me on another level, like in a different realm. You feel what I'm saying? And so when I sat down to finally have my space and I actually ran myself into a wall behind some whole other shit, okay? But once I was able to kind of get free, get clear, and sit down and meditate, the first thing that I was called to do was that laundry. Because it was like, girl, you know, you can't even focus on nothing else going past that long. And if you leave it there, it's going to get like a bigger issue. And that's just not how you operate at your best. Like, don't do that. These videos be an hour long because I like to talk. So we're going to keep doing this. But yeah, so Grounding, improvements, silence, so that you can hear where you need to do things. When you get the nudges, don't think you're smarter than your spiritual team. You are your spiritual team. So if you're feeling called to do something, go sweep the floor, and then go back and wait for your next instruction, period. Obedience is the name of the game. And this stuff might seem super like duh, but when you live a spiritual existence, even the most mundane things carry energy and carry weight in a way that we're not meant to understand. We're not supposed to. You're supposed to come into that understanding, okay? So somebody who hasn't done this work might be like, what the hell? She just told y'all to clean y'all house? Yes, I did. And did. And watch it get you that much closer to spirit, that much closer to being aligned, that much closer to understanding your inner voice. Just watch, okay? So I'm gonna be quiet there.